FAVMI presents Unfolding Mental Illness, hosted by Saraswati Suresh.
Hello, everyone. Family's Voice on Mental Illness, FAVMI, presents another episode on Unfolding Mental Illness. We are also the Western Zone of Families Alliance on Mental Illness, FACE-ME, founded by Dr. Nirmala Srinivasan. Through our episodes, we strive to educate and support families about mental health, mental illness, and provide them with valuable tools and resources from professionals and lived experience. If you're a family seeking guidance, understanding, and community support, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel at family.in. I am Saraswati Suresh, the host, and my co-host is Dr. Sachin Kanorkar. When we talk of mental health, we usually focus on thoughts, emotions, and the brain. But what if emotional well-being actually begins in the gut? And in today's episode, which is the gut-brain connection, we are going to explore how food, digestion, and gut health influences our moods, our anxiety levels, our focus, and overall mental well-being. And we hope to learn this science in a very simple and practical way. And more importantly, I would say realistic changes that can make a difference in everybody's life. And this conversation, I would say, is not only for persons with mental illness or their families or the caregivers, but it is for everybody who's looking for a supportive and a holistic approach alongside with medical care. Today, to have this conversation, we have Shilpa Mittal, who's a very well-known, a renowned, award-winning nutritionist and a diet consultant in Mumbai, with over 25 years of experience with more than 10,000 plus clients, and who's known for a holistic approach through Shilpsnutrilife. She holds a master's degree in food science and nutrition. As a nutrition and a wellness expert, she works closely with individuals to help them understand the powerful connection between what we eat, how our gut functions, and how we feel emotionally. She is known for a practical and a no-fat approach in nutrition. She simplifies complex concepts around gut health and mental well-being and help people build sustainable food habits that fit real life and not perfect diets. And in this episode, she'll help us understand the gut-brain connection and clear some common myths. Welcome, Shilpa. And it's our absolute privilege to have you with us for this conversation.
Thank you, Saraswati and Dr. Sachin. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you so much for inviting me here.
So moving on to the first question, let's to start the conversation. Everyone talks about food, fitness, weight loss, things like that, but nobody talks about feelings and food. So how are food, gut, and mood actually connected?
So yes, Saraswati, you beautifully mentioned that when we talk about food, the first thing that comes to our mind is yes, the weight, the calories, the nutrients, and I mean we even don't think whether food and feelings are connected. So food is a very important information for our gut and the brain. You will be surprised to know that gut and brain they converse with each other on, I would say, every second basis, minute to minute, second to second, through various systems, through our nerves, through our hormones, and very important are the gut bacteria. So actually, what we eat decides how are we going to feel, whether we are going to feel calmer or we are going to feel anxious, how would our mood be. You must have heard this Hindi saying, Jaisa an vaisa man. I mean, a very old saying, and that holds quite true. I'll give you an example here, which will help you relate and also the audience. Uh, have you ever observed yourself when we go out at times? If there is a long gap between your meals and you're very hungry, how do you feel if you're, yes. So that's right? We feel hungry. We feel angry. We feel irritable. If
Correct.
somebody says anything, we are like just all over it. So what happens in that situation? Here you can easily understand the connection. When you are hungry, the sugar levels drop, and the gut sends a message to the brain. It sends a signal, and the stress hormones starts to rise, and that's how is our reaction. We start feeling very angry, irritable, anxious. So this is a really a no brainer, doesn't require any research or anything, but a very direct correlation of the gut and the brain. Okay, so that is how the food and the feelings we can relate it. A very common example.
Okay. So true. It happens with me very often that, if there are long gaps, then I know my husband telling first, I think we need to give up food, then only things will get calmer. So I completely relate to what you're saying. So why is this gut called as the second brain?
Okay, that's again a beautiful question. Now, gut also has a nervous system, which is known as the enteric nervous system, which produces millions of neurons, neurotransmitters. If you've heard of serotonin and dopamine, which make you feel good. In fact, research shows that 70% of the serotonin is produced in gut. Let me again give you an example here. Say when kids have exam, or even us now before this podcast, there was slight this thing in the gut. At times we say butterflies in the gut or kuch to ho raha hai gut mein. Now, nothing is happening in the brain, but the gut starts sensing, absorbing, it starts receiving the signals, okay, even before we are consciously thinking. So here it is acting like a brain. So that's how we call gut as the second brain, very simply, which happens in even in day to day life. We say that gut feeling. So that's
Ah,
actually,
okay, okay. Now I relate. When you say gut feeling, I relate to what you're saying.
yes,
Yeah, okay. Okay. So if your gut is not good, that means your emotional well-being, your emotions, everything will all worsen up.
yes, very true. If your gut health is not up to the mark,
Ha,
uh, yes, which is it's now coming into the focus, but yes, it is quite ignored. If your gut is not in a very good condition, like if too much of processed foods or even the thoughts, even they affect upon that the whole of the circle, I would say. When a person is not in a good mood, will opt for foods which should not be eaten, and then again that whole chakra view is like it gets trapped. So yes, the anxiety, depression, uh, even the low cortisol level, low motivation, stress, and all are few of the signs of the which can be related to not the gut not functioning well, and that's how it's related to our mental health as well.
okay. So now that you spoke about processed food, I know when we get depressed, we tend to go and eat chocolates or ice creams and try to bring our, to make you feel better. I know
Right.
a lot of people do that, that sugar rush to make them feel bad. So
Yes.
which food actually, which I know are harmful also, doing
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Okay. So if I have to get into a better mood and also have good food, what are the kinds of food which will support the healthy gut and better mood? And what are the foods that will negatively impact also? So good and bad, I would say,
Mhm. Okay. So, Saraswati, you will be surprised to know that again, this is not a rocket science, and it's everything what we eat on a daily basis. Only thing what we need here is more of awareness. So, I'll take it step by step. As you
Okay,
said, we go in for the wrong foods. Wrong foods are generally sweets, is what majorly clients come to me.
correct.
They crave for sweets and then they give in. So that is carbs. And why we crave for carbs is also very beautiful because brain can only utilize glucose. So whatever we eat gets converted into glucose and that goes to the brain. So in a situation where you're mentally I would say disturbed, it's very easy to opt for sweets because brain is demanding for that. Now, when we talk about nutrient wise, so carbohydrates, I would put it in as a carbohydrates, or let's call it even fiber, which is a component of carbohydrate. Now, what kind of carbohydrate is very important? It has to be complex. What is complex? What is simple? So, complex is something like whole grains, millets, which have become very famous thanks to the millet year, which are jawar, bajra, ragi, even your other pseudo cereals like your rajgira, your arrowroot, singara atta, your foxtail millets, and so many. I mean, there is a wide range if you look out for. Even wheat is not bad, I would say. But yes, now when we come to simple sugars, the processed ones, simple carbs, I'm sorry, are the processed ones. What does that mean? Now let me give you an example of wheat. Wheat is good when we are eating it as a whole wheat, which is like dalia, broken wheat. The next is atta. Both the stages are good. But when it gets further refined, say like when it gets refined, bleached, it becomes maida. So product made out of that are not good because they just give you empty calories and no nutrient, no fiber. So products made out of it, like all your bakery items, your cakes, pastries, cookies, which are made from processed wheat or refined wheat, is something needs to be avoided. But at the same time, you can have complex carbohydrates like all your bajra, nachni, jawar, and all the millets will definitely help. Next is the fiber. Fiber from millets will also help, as well as fiber from fruits and vegetables. Now I'm taking both of this in a combined this thing, because when I'm talking about complex carbs, why is it very important? Again, because of the fiber thing in it. So when you're mentally disturbed, your body is demanding for sugar. Now when you give in for processed foods like cakes or cookies, you get a quick high with the sugar, but it crashes down also immediately, and then you crave for more. But when you switch to complex carbs, so if you want to eat sweets, I would say make a homemade laddu out of ragi, wherein you're using all natural ingredient, or you bake up a ragi cake, or you make a pancake out of millet. That will not harm you. Why? Because when you eat that, eat a little slowly as well, and the sugar rise from this complex carbohydrate is really slow and it's sustainable, and it will not drop. So you will not crave for more. So complex carbohydrate is something which I is the first thing I will recommend, is very, very important. Then we come to good fats. Now, what are good fats? You must have definitely heard about omega 3. So they are a category of fat. They are very important, and lots of research is now being undertaken, which suggests that they help improve memory, concentration, focus. Even in mental health, they definitely help with depression, anxiety. Um, People, it's very easy to pop up pills, but yes, if someone is taking supplements, do take help, because lot of things need to be assessed, the EPA, the DHA, and the lot of other components out of which, otherwise it will not be beneficial. And it is always good that someone suggests you whether you need to take supplements or not. Natural sources, if you ask me, are quite abundant. If someone eats non-veg, then fatty fish like salmon, tuna, mackerel do have good amounts of omega-3. And if you are a vegetarian, you can include nuts like almonds, walnuts, or seeds like pumpkin seeds, alsi. All this have good amount of omega-3. And it's not that you need to have them in maybe a bowl full of. So yes, moderation is the key. So maybe depending on what extent is the mental health condition, but still having 8 to 10 nuts a day, but then you space it out. Don't have them all together. Maybe have few in the morning, few afternoon, and few at night. And maybe just 2 tablespoons of flax seeds, but start slow, because flax seeds have lignans, which also affect gut health. They are anti-nutrient. What does that mean? That means that they will hinder the absorption of certain nutrients or even their own absorption. So, some kind of processing. Either you soak flax seeds and have, or you roast them. Very light roasting just for 2 minutes, and then you ground it, powder it nicely, and keep the powder in the fridge. And then that can be sprinkled on anything, maybe on your salads, on dals, on your pulaus, or anything. Or you can just have it like this. I mean, just have a spoonful with a glass of water, but always start seeds very slowly. Start with 1 teaspoon and gradually over the period of time, maybe in 15 days, make it to 1 tablespoon and go slow. Otherwise, I have seen only just the flax seeds at times may affect the gut health. So just start anything you're starting new, start in moderation. You can just eat roasted seeds as well, but then chewing is very important. I mean, we are in so much of hurry, we don't chew it well, so that needs to be taken care of. So complex carbs is one, omega 3. Then I come to is proteins. Proteins are again very important, and proteins, I think many, I mean, it's quite widely spoken about. Now, how will proteins help? So, each and every part of our body, all the hormones, all the enzymes, all the neurotransmitters, all the neurons, they are made up of proteins. So, if you are deficient in proteins, the basic functioning of, I would say, uh, the raw materials, they are only very much deficient. So you will, I mean, in spite of doing 10 other things, you will not find them so effective. So yes, proteins you can get from veg, non-veg, both the sources. Let me talk about vegetarian sources. So all your dals, pulses, your sprouts, your milk and milk products, nuts, seeds, soya bean, all these are rich in proteins. And when I talk about non-vegetarian, yes, egg, chicken, fish, meat, all this have good quality of protein. Okay, when I'm speaking about quality, especially for vegetarians, they have a doubt if they are getting sufficient amount of protein, and which is a valid doubt. So instead of worrying about sufficient, they should think about the quality of protein. Why is non-veg protein always considered better? Because of the quality of the protein it has. Very simply, I'll take just few seconds to explain you what does the quality mean. So each protein is made up of smaller units which are known as amino acids. We can imagine it like building a house and we are joining brick by brick. Okay, something like this. So those amino acids join together and they create the protein matrix. Now, in all non-vegetarian foods, these amino acids are present in proper amount and proper balance. Whereas in vegetarian foods, say few are lacking in one amino acid and say one group is lacking in other. So to give you an example, cereals lack one amino acid and pulses lack other. But when you combine them and eat, so something like khichdi, idli sambar, or dosa sambar, or even idli dosa batter itself has rice and dal in it. So whenever there is a combination, or milk and rice like kheer, such combination, you get a complete protein wherein the matrix gets completed, and it's as good as egg, which is considered as an excellent source of protein. It has been given 100 marks. So that's how, if you're a vegetarian, you always combine cereal and pulses and eat. So if someone has made rajma, then maybe with rotis or with rice, or khichdi is definitely a best option. So whenever dal, pulses, sprouts are eaten, ensure that some carbs is there in your meal so that you get a complete protein. So complex carbohydrates, omega 3, proteins. Next I come to is very important category is fermented foods. So fermented foods are very important again. Why? Because they help to restore the gut bacteria. So fermented foods can be anything from our regular like idli, dosas, doklas, even overnight soaked oats or rice, or the fermented pickles. Now it's winters, so even the freshly fermented pickles, like if you have carrot or radish, you can just add little salt and leave it in sun for 2 days, and then you can refrigerate. It stays for 15 days, and they are also very good as fermented, I mean, can be used on regular basis as fermented foods. And the last but not least is the water.
Water. Okay.
Water helps in transporting all these nutrients. It prevents dehydration, even though it's not spoken about a lot. But I see many of the people suffering from mental health issues drinking really very less amount of water. So water is plays really a very important role. So complex carbohydrates,
Uh,
omega-3 fatty
Great.
acids, proteins, fermented foods, and yes, water.
Water.
This
Okay.
plays a very,
Fine.
very important role. Yes. And
Okay.
negative, I think I spoke about the sugars, even the processed packaged foods, they cause a lot of inflammation. In fact, the body has to really work hard to drain them out from the body. So, yes, all the packaged, processed bakery foods need to be avoided with too much of additives and preservatives in them.
Okay. So, I mean, the way you have explained it so beautifully to us, Shilpa, the 5 elements which one should all consider. So, all these are available in our Indian food itself. I don't think we really need to go out and buy some very expensive or stuff. I think some way you have explained it right now to us.
Yes, yes, Saraswati. Thank you so much for that. Yes, as I told you in the beginning, everything is available in the kitchen, and you need to be aware. Even the foods which we spoke about are negative. I'm not saying that one should just keep away from it, but what is important again is awareness, the frequency and the quantity you are having it, and how are you uh, combining it. Are you just having those food, or you're combining it with other healthy foods? That is what matters basically.
What happens for people, most of our people with persons with mental illness, they are having medications which are on long term basis. So how does those affect your gut health?
Okay, that's a very beautiful question, and it took me a while in my practice to actually realize that these medications actually have an effect on gut. I had to literally speak to the doctors and also to MRs to understand this, and it may not affect so much for people who are just taking it for maybe few months, but yes, for people who are on long term medications, what I have seen in my practice is there somehow their digestion, the movement, the paralytic movement, that slows down over a period of time. And they also face constipation, which again leads to bloating and weight gain. Also, research has shown that their gut bacteria, the microbiome composition, also changes over a period of time. And in my experience, I have seen they have lots of sugar cravings. Okay, so these are few things which I have noticed. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to
Just to
stop the
add to, it's not
medication.
only sugar cravings, but most of these people have cravings for not homemade food, but
Yeah,
they love
outside.
to order food from outside. Also, the
True,
side
true.
effects, like you said, of weight gain and all are also there, a part of it. So,
Yes, because these medicines cause a lot of bloating. There is a lot of water retention. And plus, as you said, if you're eating outside food, because of the preservative, the soda, it naturally holds a lot of water. So, I mean, there are a lot of things which couple up, okay, along with the diet, along with the, I would say, the sleeping pattern and other things. So, yes, weight gain is something which really shows up because people are struggling to lose weight, and then that is what again takes them in the loop of getting into that shell and very difficult of coming out of it. So I think what people need to be aware of is uh, mental health issues where medicine is needed, medications will be needed, but then they should also understand that gut needs extra support. And I feel that should be started from the very beginning. Either doctors should be should be aware of some basic things, maybe like fermented foods and other gut friendly foods should be introduced so that this effects, I mean, can, I would not say will go away completely, but at least you are taking care from the very beginning. That is what I feel.
Yeah, and for elevating your mood, like you said, if you can have some laddus, homemade ragi laddus and ragi cakes and things like that, which are now today possible to be made. I think if you store them, it also helps the person at home. So that's a good idea which you have given. So that's a nice thing. I'll now hand it over to Sachin, Dr. Sachin, to take it forward. Dr. Sachin, all yours.
Thank you, Saraswati. Thank you, Shilpa ma'am, for this very interesting discussion. And as Saraswati said, I think this evokes a lot of emotions and questions when we discuss a diet and also mental health and how it affects our emotions and feelings. To take it forward from what Saraswati asked, can nutrition help manage medication side effects like weight gain, constipation, or fatigue?
Yes, very much, Dr. Sachin, and thank you for asking that because many a times people are just not aware. Good, you took this up. They are only bothered about the weight loss. But yes, a properly balanced and smartly planned diet, of course, needs to be executed well as well. So, when you're talking about constipation, foods which have high fiber, so at times there are challenges here as well. I have given you example maybe of millets and 10 other foods, but maybe each may not suit. I mean, we all are bio individually different. So maybe ragi may not suit me, but may suit you. So understanding that becomes very important because at times with medications, there are a lot of things going on. That's how a person is working on mental health. So maybe ragi, just giving you an example, a particular food may be suiting him or her a few years back and now is causing bloating. So, very closely is what we need to work with the patient and understand what suits and what doesn't suit. So, yes, diet can beautifully help people come out of constipation with increasing the water intake, increasing their fiber intake, and mostly the fiber which is needed. So there are again soluble and insoluble fiber, and what the client is responding to, I would say. Accordingly, the diet is planned. Fatigue, yes, very well, because what happens is what I have seen in my consultation is people generally keep long gaps between the meals. And when a person has to undergo, is going through any kind of mental health issues, the brain is constantly working, maybe more than what our brains are working, their brains are working 2, 3 times more. So the glucose requirement increases, and at in one meal you just can't feed your brain too many things. But yes, just dividing the meals into small frequent meals makes a lot of difference. So yes, healthy meals but small frequent meals, timely meals are something which I would say definitely helps. And yes, in terms of craving, increasing the protein and fiber also helps. So, again, three things: yes, the fiber, the water intake, proteins, and timely and balanced meal. And so, protein also, I would just want to stress here. People feel that just having proteins, maybe 2 eggs a day or 2 katoris of dal, is sufficient. But each and every meal. So if I'm saying 4 meals a day, if 4 meals suit a person, all 4 meals need to be balanced in the terms of carbohydrates, that is complex carbs, good fats, and proteins. These three are primarily important. Okay, whether it is even your snacks. Okay, so protein needs to be there. Only then the overall craving throughout the day will be taken care of, and even the fiber, so you will not face constipation, and further weight gain, I mean, also can be avoided.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you very much, ma'am. So, should people on psychiatric medicines take probiotics or supplements? Do probiotics alone fix gut and mood issues?
Okay, again, this is very interesting question. Probiotics have been like, people are just, I think, just buying, okay, and it is going from, oh, this has helped me, and you also take it. I think very rarely are they going and asking the doctor, or maybe during their visit. I get a lot of patients who are primarily taking, and when I see it's not there on the doctor's prescription, they are like, no, no, we have just read about it, or maybe somebody approached. So, very important is probiotics should not be just taken like that. And as you asked me, it alone will definitely not help. It's not a magic pill. Again, other factors, like your stress, your sleep, your balanced diet helps. Now, probiotics, very interesting thing is, require prebiotics for their absorption. What are prebiotics? So, prebiotics are, I would say, like how we plant a tree, but before that, we fertilize the land with good manure and other things. uh, Similarly, in our stomach also, there are prebiotics, which you can easily get from banana, from oats, from onions, from garlic. So this has to be in your diet if you are taking probiotics. If probiotics are not very good in your gut, then prebiotics will just be washed away. It will not be absorbed. So that is one thing. If you are taking probiotic supplements, please focus on prebiotic foods like onion, garlic, banana is there. So all this will help to increase prebiotics along with a properly balanced diet. As I have been speaking about carbs, proteins, good fats, and timely meals, sleeping on time, and yes, managing the stress also. So I would say it is like a teamwork. Just alone probiotics will definitely not help. And again, it has to be individualized. If someone is taking supplement, you just can't pop up any probiotic supplement. It's always good that if it is individualized, and now we have lot of labs, genuine labs, who get it, I mean, from where you can get it tested, and you can have your own customized probiotic.
Oh, thank you, madam. That was a very good answer. For families caring for loved ones with mental illness, where should they realistically start with food changes? Are small changes enough, or does it need a complete diet overhaul? And also, to extend the question, is eating healthy expensive or complicated?
Okay. Yes, where to start with is a big question. I think after this podcast, also many people will think there is so much to do. But I think, just pick up one thing which you think is doable. It could be like just regularizing the meal timing. As I was saying, don't keep long gaps. You can just start with that, and maybe start adding one thing. Maybe you start adding few seeds or nuts, or maybe a fruit, or focus on protein. So just pick up one thing, let follow that for a week, and then the next week add on one more thing. Simple things could be just having timely meals, at least timely meals. If you have not been into that discipline, if you are in the discipline, then try and focus on small, frequent meals. Focus on more of home cooked meals, like how Saraswati said, there is a craving for eating outside food, but yes, all the junk can be made healthy with a twist. Lot of recipes are available on YouTube and Instagram. So even that shift is a very, very big shift. Water can be one more thing. If, as I said, I have observed clients drinking less amount of water, so just adding on a glass of more water day by day will also help. And I would say, avoiding skipping meals. So if your mood is not good, you may not eat for long hours, and then you tend to overeat. So this, just pick up one habit which you feel relatable, work on it, and then shift to other, so that it doesn't feel too many things to do, but one thing at a time definitely helps. And I'm sorry, I forgot the next question you asked me.
No, no, I'm just, this, uh, because as Saraswati rightly asked, is eating healthy expensive or complicated? Because we have Indian
Okay.
foods, and then
Yes.
we are also keep hearing a lot of foods which are from abroad or which are exotic, which we have to eat to stay healthy. So is eating healthy expensive or complicated?
Okay, that's a nice one. I would say nowadays nutrition is very confusing and that is expensive more than anything else. Um, and we are blessed that we are in India. We have such a wide variety of wild foods, I would say, locally grown, seasonal foods, which will also help us sustain the planet. So, yes, eating healthy is just not expensive. Let me give you an example. When I talk about proteins, you don't really need to go and buy those powders unless you're not able to meet the protein requirement from your diet. Are simple dals, pulses, eggs are not so expensive. Even if you go to north side, MP side, they eat something called sattu, which is made from chana, and that is like an Indian protein powder. If you compare it with the rates of protein powder, it is just one fourth of what one, not even one fourth, I would say. So healthy eating is not expensive, but you need to be aware of. I think we don't give due credits to our Indian food. In fact, I attended a food festival of wild food festival, which happens every year in Mumbai, and there were 200 plus green vegetables which we have not even heard of, and only those adivasis can tell us what are the benefits, because sadly even in our nutrition college we have not heard about so many varieties, and few are so distinct that they are saying that if we do not use them, like if they don't, I mean, they can't be grown on their own, there are no seeds, it's nature which offers us from season to season. So, giving you an example of Kantola, which generally comes in rainy season, the tribes actually go inside, deep inside the forest, and one should know which one to pluck, because there are few which are edible and few which are non-edible. So, I mean, they are saying if 1 year if they don't go to pluck, the next year it will not grow. So, I think, I mean, the universe blesses us with natural foods, and if we are aware of it, we will not require supplements at all. Just the nature, and I mean, India has so much of variety. So we just need to be aware and explore. I would say just explore. Go to your bigger markets. You will surely find some leafy vegetables or some vegetables which you've not even seen. That's how I started with. I started exploring. Okay, I took a resolution 3 years back that I will introduce one new leafy vegetable. And that's how I think I have tried 25 plus. So just explore. The more you explore, and yes, again, connecting it to gut, good, I remembered, gut needs variety, not eating the same food day in and out. The more variety of foods you give, the more will be, I mean, the better will be the gut microbiome, the diversity. It likes to work on food diversity. So, more your food is more diverse, your better will be your gut health.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And that's a very good explanation. Is diet a replacement for therapy or medication?
Okay, so diet is definitely not a replacement, but I would put it as diet is a supportive care. Okay, it is like to put it in a little humorous way is like मैं हूं ना, if I want to put it that way. It will not let you crash. It will keep holding you on when the times are tough. So I would say diet along with the uh, other parts of the team, your doctor, your mental health therapist. So diet is also just a part of that team. Alone diet definitely cannot work. It's just the support, but a very big support.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. I think you've already answered this question. How do sleep, stress, and hydration affect the gut-mind connection? Does eating timing or skipping meals impact mood? So I think you have touched upon it, but if you want to add anything more to this question.
So all these factors, what they do is they increase the inflammation, and especially stress. Research has shown that it damages the gut lining, and drinking less water, or I would say even people drink excessive caffeine in terms of coffee, which further increases anxiety, constipation, and fatigue. So that's how correcting these factors, which are not spoken about or people take it for granted, becomes very important when we are talking about mental health. And skipping moods, skipping meals definitely has an effect on mood. As I started with, like, if you are hungry, it is inversely proportional. And you also tend to overeat in the next meal. Okay. And then eating wrong foods are very natural because you're very hungry, and the sugar also has terribly gone down. And I have seen also people become more anxious. So I think a routine is more healing, and rather than being very erratic, just following a routine, at least for the first few days, will get into the discipline. I mean, will help you get into the discipline, and it will automatically be a healing in itself.
No, thank you. No, I think, ma'am, this was a very good, I think, recap. And as Saraswati earlier asked, that gut is a second brain, and you mentioned about the neurons, and then this, how does sleep, stress, hydration affect? Because everything is connected, and it's a teamwork. So I'll just come to the last question. If you had to give just three food-related habits for better mental well-being, what would they be? What is one message you would like families and individuals struggling with mental health to remember about food and healing?
Okay, the three food habits. One is, I want people to become regular with the meal timings. That is very important. The next is, try including one gut friendly food. What we spoke about, the five categories, try including at least one. That will that will give you some, it will motivate you further, because you'll start seeing the difference. And water, drink more amount of water. So regularity in the meals, including one gut friendly food, and water, increase your water intake. So I would also insist on consistency. Don't aim for perfection, but try to be consistent. That will take you to your goal, rather than doing it one day and then not doing it. Just be consistent. Rest will be taken care of. And the message that I want to give is, food is not just a fuel, but it's a reassurance. When you feed your body right, the mind really works excellent, and I would say it works right. That's it.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. And thanks a lot for the wonderful session, and I think taking us through food and fitness, then looking at ultra processed foods, then looking at nutrition to manage side effects, and how do actually people can realistically make changes instead of buying more expensive and exotic food, and how this entire connection between sleep, stress, hydration, and also gut-friendly foods. So thank you very much from me and Saraswati for your time and to share all these valuable points which can help people who live with mental illness as well as their families. So thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. I too enjoyed this conversation, and thank you so much for inviting me and having me here. I mean, giving me a chance to be a part of this initiative.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Shilpa. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.